Okay, let's jump into how I lost 60 pounds in 79 days. I'm gonna give you my daily routine on what I did. Okay. So I will juice 2 meals a day and have one solid meal. Okay. And so for my one solid meal, I always wanted to make sure that I had a veggie and I had a protein. Okay. That was something that kind of sustained me. But in between now, let me back up for a moment. In between, before I actually got to my solid meal, I would, for example, I will wake up in the morning and I will have some water and lemon. I would squeeze my lemon in my water. I had about a 32-ounce cup, and then I will drink some of it, not all of it, and then I will immediately go on a walk. And mind you, now I was like 400 pounds, and so the goal was every single day was to try to do 2 miles, but I did about a mile and a half because I was just kind of winded, and it was a lot for me at first. So that was kind of like the beginning of it. So when I get done working out, I would come home, have a juice, and then later on that morning, I will have a snack. Now, a go-to snack for me that kind of held me over a little bit was peanut butter, organic peanut butter, right? And bananas. That was like a go-to. That was like the favorite in our house. Everybody was on that, right? And so I enjoyed that. That was something that kind of sustained me for a little bit. And also, I will have almonds, I will have fruits, veggies. It just kind of depended on my day and how I was feeling that day, also. So that was kind of like some pointers on my snacks or kind of something that can sustain me. Oh, I don't want to forget this as well. I had the Chomps beef sticks. Those were a go-to for a long time. And so I want to make this clear. Even though I worked out between 5 to 6 days a week for about 30 minutes to about 45 minutes, I juice every single day. So I want to make sure that y'all don't forget that part. That I juice every single day for 2 meals and one solid meal. That was transformation. I enjoyed it and it was doable. Especially for where I was coming from. 400 pounds, man, I was just trying to get the weight off. You hear me? I want to answer some of you guys' questions as well. Some of the snacks, also, y'all see the snacks on one of my other videos. I didn't really start engaging into those snacks until about 60 days in. But the ones that I mentioned earlier, the almonds, the bananas with the peanut butter or the beef chopsticks, those are fire, and the fruits and the veggies. Those were go-tos for me for about the first 60 days because I wanted to play it safe and I didn't know how my body would react. Okay. Also, so that was my daily routine on what I did. I want to point out a couple more pointers to you guys. I will I will work out and then I'll come home, do some work, and then I have my first juice, and then about 11 o'clock, well between 11 to 12, I kind of had a snack, and then I had dinner, my one solid meal. I had that between 2 to 4, and the reason why I wanted to go that route was I wanted my food to digest, and I didn't want to feel heavy. And so that was kind of like my reason of why I did what I did in that regards. So that worked for me. And that was very helpful because I found myself sleeping a lot better at night when I kind of stuck to that routine. So that was kind of like a pointer for you, that maybe, on yours, whatever works for you, But that seemed to work for me on my journey. What else? So I mentioned to you guys about I want to touch on this real quick because I don't want to get ahead of myself. The key to the health journey for me was being consistent, right? And then I stayed away from all of the starches, like any added sugars. I was not fooling with it. I only dealt with all natural sugars, and foods that didn't have any added preservatives or anything like that, or any processed foods. That was not a go-to for me. The biggest thing that I can take from just this health journey, I had to educate myself on the foods I ate, what I wanted in my body, and then I had to experiment a little bit. So, for example, like for dinner, for my solid meal, excuse me, I actually start really enjoying lamb, right? So what is it? Lamb, not lamb chops, lamb loin. And that was pretty good. I started barbecuing it on my grill. My goodness, it was amazing. And so I would have cauliflower, like stir fry cauliflower with lamb that I throw on the grill, or I would do um, grilled chicken, like chicken wings, and my beef, I would do ground beef, but I did grass-fed ground beef. I noticed the difference between regular ground beef and grass-fed. That was like delicious. So I would have either make hamburgers, grass-fed hamburgers, or I would do chicken wings, or I would do lamb, or I would do fish, like salmon fish. And majority of the food that I ate was very lean, right? When it comes to my fish, I wanted to get wild fish. I don't want to get farm raised. And when it came to my chicken, a lot of times I got organic chicken wings. When it came to my lamb loins, because I would buy them at like Sam's Club, or buy them at Aldi, Australia. If they're coming from Australia, that's a pretty reliable source farm wise, and it stays in its natural habitat. So I was very impressed with doing my research, and found out that Australia was a good source to be able to receive the meat, and without it being organic. So that's kind of another pointer for you. What else? It took me 79 days to lose the weight. I weighed myself every week. So I will weigh in Sunday, and then I weigh in again that following Sunday. And so I could be honest with you. I'm 60 and counting. I lost probably a pound and about 3 to 4 ounces a day. So when I get on my scale, I was about 3 to 4 pounds a week. So that was kind of encouraging. And that was like a super momentum shift, right? That just kind of, it just kept me going, and it had a lot of motivation, and it was good to see that the work is paying off, right? And so when I did my juicing as well, I mentioned to you, I actually juiced for about 32 ounce cup for both of my juices. So I don't know if I mentioned that, but I just want to make sure that I mention that to you guys. What else? I actually, on this journey, I really got to know myself, right? And I could tell you what, it was really hard initially. Not gonna front. The key to it all is being consistent. Being consistent, being consistent, being consistent. Don't focus on the weight, focus on the lifestyle. I'm gonna say it again. Don't focus on the weight, focus on the lifestyle. And that's what I implemented, a lifestyle and a routine that not just for myself, but also for my family. And so everybody in my family is on this health journey with me, and they're doing it themselves. So that's the great thing about all of it. Everyone is doing it. Okay, I just wanted to throw that in there. I want to talk real quick about some of the juices that I made. For example, I always had celery as my base, because it produces a lot of juice, and I enjoy it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I thought on this journey as well that juicing was going to be extremely expensive, because what I've heard people talk and all that, it's like, man, juicing is super, super expensive. Well, from my experience, it hasn't been expensive. It's been fairly decent, I must admit. So I stated that my celery base it produces a lot of juice. And so my go-to juices was celery ginger, and apple. 3 ingredients. That was a go-to. And when I first started, that was something that I did very often. So it was celery, carrot, ginger, and apples. I like a budget friendly. That's how I was maintaining because, man, I tell you what, eating healthy and living a healthy life, it does cost, and it's worth it to me, right? So I spend about $25 to $30 a week, and mind you, those $25 to $30, I can feed my whole family, or I can juice that for my whole family. So it wasn't like super, super expensive like I initially thought it would be. So about $25 to $30 a week, and about between $100 to about $150 a month. So I don't think that's horrible. I thought it was a fair deal. What else? I wanted to make sure when we talk about like the eating, sometimes I found myself after about the first 3 weeks to 4 weeks, I start desiring to not even eat a solid meal sometimes. So out of the week, I could probably eat meat maybe 3 days to 4 days, and then the rest of the days, I just would juice like 3 juices a day. And sometimes I wouldn't even have in my solid meals. And even with the snacks, like I just not start indulging in the snacks, to be honest with you. My wife, she's been a snacker. My kids, obviously I have kids. I have 2 kids. And so my kids, they obviously love to have healthy snacks. And so that's one of the reasons why we have those snacks, but they're a healthy alternative. So that has worked for us. Um, what else? If you guys have any other questions or want to know anything else about my health journey, I'm here. I'm here. And just if I can give you any type of encouragement, just start wherever you are. That's what I had to do. I feel amazing now. I will never ever look back. I'm looking forward, and I chose life. And I pray that you can do the same as well. And we'll talk soon.